guys, today's video is going to be a face-off collab. I've done a lot of these in the past, but this is not just a regular face-off collab. This is a rematch face-off because I've already done a face-off with the two people in this collab, but that one kind of went to shit because we ended up drawing 6 shimmers and none of us really had fun with that challenge. So basically, if you don't know what a face-off is, this is something that was started by my friend Danielle Schmidt. I will have her channel link down below in my description box. But basically what happens is that whoever is in this face-off collab, we all use the same shades from the same palettes to create a look with, and those shades are going to be drawn randomly. So we have already drawn the shades, but let me first tell you about the people that are in this collab. So the first person is Vinyl Beauty. Her name is Steady. I've been watching her ever since she started her channel, and I was one of the people who pushed her to do so because I just knew that there was room for her in the beauty community. Not that there isn't room for everybody, but like she's very special and unique and different, and I just love her for that. I love that I can go to her channel and just know that it's going to be a very chill time. It's going to be a place where she breaks every makeup rule that's ever been said to be, you know, don't do this if you're over the age of blah blah blah. And it's just, I love her confidence, I love how just down to earth and chill she is. And I would highly recommend, if you guys are not watching Debbie and you like colorful makeup and you like people who aren't afraid to try new things, please go check her out. The other person in this collab is my friend Lisa. We have done, I don't know how many collabs in the past, but I love her. She is a Swedish YouTuber. She does have her videos in English now, though. I actually found her when her channel was in Swedish, and I still kind of started watching her, even though I didn't understand as well as I do in English. I am Norwegian, for those of you who don't know, so the languages are kind of similar. But when she switched over to doing English videos, I was so happy, and I have pretty much watched every one of her videos ever since. She is also just one of those people who is extremely chill and just likes to sit down and play with makeup. That's basically it. Like, it's just makeup, it's just fun, and that's the kind of people that I like to watch. I like to know that when I come to someone's channel, it's not going to be anything but just having a good time. And I really appreciate people who are drama-free, and those two people are very much drama-free. So let's go ahead and get into the palettes and the color story that we ended up drawing, because we have already drawn these. I don't know if you've ever gotten a glimpse of my hand, if I talked with my hands, but these are the colors that we're going to be using. And for this, we're going to be using 2 palettes from Shroud Cosmetics, and the first one is the Arcana palette. So I will show you the shades, even though I have already swatched them out, but the shades that we ended up drawing in this was the shade here called Familiar. This is kind of like a, it's hard to explain. It's the middle one here. It's almost like a pinky bronze. I don't know. It's a weird shade. We also got this one, which is called Shroud. It's a very dark teal, as well as this very dark green, which almost looks black on the hand. Like, it's this one right here. So these 3 are from the Arcana palette, and then for the top 2, we're going to be using the Creepy Cute. So the reason why we chose these 2 together is just because these were palettes that we all had in our collection, and we just haven't used them in a while, and we wanted to get some use out of them. So we ended up drawing the gray shade as well as the blue. So the color story here is just, I've been staring at these for I don't know how many weeks now. It's been since we arranged this, but I still feel like I don't really know what to do. Like, it's just such a strange color combo, and this bronze shade, or whatever you can call this, is just throwing it all off. And we have 3 very dark similar mattes that I feel like are just kind of going to end up looking like one thing at the end. So I don't know what I'm going to do with this, you guys. I need to really think about this a little bit longer. Not that I haven't thought about this enough, but while I do that, I'm going to, I guess, prime my eyes. Let's see, what primer do I want to use today? Let's do the NARS primer. I haven't used that one in a while, so I'm gonna go ahead and prime my eyes with this one. This is the Tinted Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. Somehow I've just like forgotten about that one. Ever since I got the Kaleidos one, I've been using that one a lot, and then I've been kind of alternating that one with the Natasha Denona one. I feel like I just have like too many primers that I really like right now, which is a good thing, but it also means that sometimes I forget to reach for other ones that I know I also like. And I just realized I haven't put any face makeup on, like bronzer or blush wise. Usually I will do some cream products under my powder, but I didn't do that today and I look very pale. Also, I couldn't find my scissors and I really wanted to trim my bangs, so they're like at the length where it's like almost a little bit annoying. So I'm sorry if I'm like doing this the whole time, but I need to find those scissors. Let's see, what do I want to do today? This color story is just, It's something else, you guys. I almost wish I just had 6 shimmers instead, to be completely honest, because I don't know what I'm going to do with this. Okay, so let's just kind of start and hope for the best, because I don't know what's gonna happen here, but I need to do something because I can't sit here and stare at this palette any longer. So I'm gonna first start off by going into Cold Shoulder here, and I'm going to put that in the first part of my crease. I guess I will kind of tell you what my plan is as we go, because I don't know how this is going to turn out, but I'm gonna put that, like I said, in the first half of my crease, as well as the first portion of my lower lash line. And I am going to bring this quite far out, so I guess more like 2/3, because I am going to be blending another shadow into this, so it's going to kind of layer back over. But I just love this color so much. This is going to be like the pop of color in this look. I mean, isn't that just the most beautiful blue you have ever seen? If you have been wanting a pastel palette, this is the one to get. These are the best pastels that I have in my collection. Like, they are just so intense and crazy pigmented and so easy to work with. I just love this palette so much. So I am going to blend this quite high up here, because I am going to deepen this up with one of the other colors after I put this down here. So like I said, I'm also going to take a little bit of this on my lower lash line. This is just such an intense color and I love it. What I'm gonna do next might surprise you a little bit, but I'm gonna take a little bit of just a face powder here, and I'm just going to set the outer portion of my crease here, because I don't want that gray that I'm going to be using to be super pigmented. I want it to be more of like a wash of color, so I'm going to set this so that it's not going to grip onto my base as much as it would if I didn't. What I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take the gray shade here from the Creepy Q palette, and I'm going to put that in the outer portion of my crease now. And I'm going to be very, very light-handed with this. I do want this to be more of a transition shade, if you will, because I think I'm gonna use the green to deepen up this gray with. I don't know how that is going to go, but I need somewhere to kind of put it. So that's just kind of what we're doing. So I'm trying to put down as light of a wash of color as I can here. And I'm also going to take this down to my lower lash line and connect it with that blue. This is such a pigmented shade that it's really hard to use it as a transition shade. I'm probably going to go in with a bit more of that face powder and just try to diffuse the edges of this as much as I can after. Man, this is way more pigmented than I was anticipating. I just hope that that green is going to come through for me. Like, I have such a hard time being light-handed with my shadows because I'm so used to like really packing them on, that tapping off my brush and going in carefully. It's like a whole new world to me, because I just find it to be easier to work with when you go in with a lot of shadows. I know a lot of people would say the opposite, but I just find that you don't ever get any patchiness if you just kind of pack it on, because if your brush is so saturated, like the color just gets very evenly distributed. And I'm keeping the shape of this quite round here, and then I think what I'm gonna do after I put down all of the matte is I'm gonna do a bit of a half cut crease and put that bronze on the lid, I guess, and then I'll probably find some kind of a highlighter, not gonna lie, to put in my inner corner and maybe lighten up the bronze a little bit in the front portion. I think that's what I'm going to do. And obviously with that dark teal, I'm gonna use that to deepen up the light blue with. Okay, so let's try to use a little bit of this green. So it's this one from the Arcana palette. It's called Darkling, which is probably why it's called that, because it is extremely dark. So I'm gonna go ahead and take that on the outer portion of my lid here. I'm kind of hoping that this is going to show up kind of more like a black in a way. Like, I don't want this to look super, super green if I can avoid it, but I also want it to look like, you know, a different color, obviously. So I think that's going to work out pretty okay here. I do think that this one is darker than the gray. At least I hope that kind of shows on camera, because it was very hard to kind of differentiate the depth of these two colors. Like, I feel like I could have used this one in my crease and used the gray to darken it up as well, but I really wanted to make sure that I used the darkest shade out of these two on my lid. And I think I made a pretty good decision doing that. Like, you can definitely see a little bit of green here, but it's not so green that it's like, wow, that's green, you know? So I'm taking this about halfway across my lid. And I really hope this look turns out okay because I do have plans to film something else after. I feel like a lot of the time I'll film something and be like, you know what, I don't like this look, and then I don't film something else after, because obviously if I'm gonna be filming something else, and it's always going to be just a chatty video, and if it is a chatty video, everyone's just gonna be looking at my makeup the whole time I'm talking, so I want my makeup to be something that I'm at least, you know, proud of. And like, yeah, I don't like all the looks that I do, and I think that's pretty normal, but at least I try, you know? That's really all you can do. So I feel like this actually looks quite cool, if I can say so myself. The one thing that I'm like worried about is that stupid ass bronze shade, because I hate bronzes, you guys. I feel like they never really go with the looks the way that I want them to, but this looks so fun. I'm gonna take a clean fluffy brush now. Actually, let me go into the dark blue first and just deepen up that blue portion too. So I've just been using my referral number 13 brush this whole time. I mean, who is surprised, really? And I'm gonna dip into the shade called Shroud, which is this one right here. I'm gonna tap off this one a little bit here, and I'm gonna use that to deepen up the front portion of my crease here. And I'm pretty sure I'm gonna have to do some kind of a cut crease after here just to remove some of that blue that's getting on my lid, because I don't want that to be underneath the bronze. I feel like that's going to look a little weird. So this is definitely darkening up the blue quite a bit, so I might have to go back in with that pastel, but I kind of expected this to happen because this is quite a dark shade here. And I'm just worried about this getting really muddy and everything kind of looking the same. Like, that was definitely my biggest concern going into this, was just that I wouldn't be able to really make all of the shades pop individually, which I mean is kind of tough to do with these anyway. And I feel like these are just not really blending in that nicely together here. But I think as soon as I go in and do the cut crease, it's going to come together a little bit. I'm gonna, like I said, take a clean fluffy brush now. I'm gonna have to go back and forth quite a few times with these colors just to make sure that they look nice and blended and such. But I just want to make sure I blend out the edge of that gray here as much as I'm able to. And then I'm gonna take another new brush here and just dip back into that very pastel-y blue and just run that over the top here again. And as you can see, it's looking kind of patchy and stuff, but like I said, when I go in and cut my crease, I think that's going to make it look a little bit better, but this right here is just not looking all that great. So I'm not sure I'm gonna really be able to fix that, but I'm gonna try. So what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna take, do I even want to do a cut crease? I could just cut my crease with my NYX glitter primer. Maybe that's what I'm gonna do. I feel like everyone has started doing that now, because there really is no point in going in to cut your crease when you can just use this to make kind of a cut crease line with. So that's just what I'm going to do, I think. I'm gonna use a bit more of a precise brush this time. Normally when I use my glitter primer, I use a bit of a bigger packing brush to do it with, but I'm gonna use my Morphe M421 brush, I'm pretty sure this is, and just really make sure that I carve this out. And I'm taking this like halfway across my lid here. And then I'm dipping the same brush back into Familiar, which was the shade in the Arcana palette, and I'm just gonna place that over the top before I put on a glitter primer. Now this isn't a super intense metallic shimmer by any means, so I feel like I'm probably gonna go in with some kind of a topper shade over this. I mean, I don't really feel like that is cheating, because as long as you have all the colors on your eyes, you're pretty free to like do whatever you want if you want to add like an extra thing or two, I feel like. So I'm just going to try to fade this out as good as I can, and then I'm going to go back in with the green afterwards and bring this back over just so we can get a good blend between the two. And I feel like my crease, or the inner portion here on my eye, is looking a lot better now that I went in with this shade and kind of cut the crease a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the same thing on the other eye, and then we'll see where we're at and what I want to do, because I still haven't really decided if I love this. So I have no idea where my camera is shut off. I mean, story of my life, but I'm going in with some more of that green now and just packing that on the outer corner of my eye to make sure that the blend between the green and the bronze is looking okay. And I only really want that bronze shade to be in the first half of my lid or so. So I feel like this is looking okay, but it's looking a little bit patchy right here. So I'm gonna take a bit more of this gray. It's just one of those looks where you need to kind of go back and forth a little bit to make sure that everything is nice and blended together. But I'm not hating this, to be completely honest. I'm liking it more than I thought I would, which I feel like is a win in itself with this color story, because these colors are just crazy. I mean, I never would have thought to put these together. I really can't wait to see what Lisa and Debbie has done with these, because man, like this is just such a unique color story. So I actually don't hate this. What I want to do though is I just want something lighter in my inner corner, and I don't know what that is yet. So I'm gonna finish off with my eyes and we can do that after, I guess. Or should I do that now? What is it that I want to do? I'm gonna see if I can find something in my Shine by SD bundle here that's going to look good, because I feel like maybe using one of these topper shades is going to bring this together. But I also don't feel like none of them are really gonna go with this look. What about this one? That's so bright. Like, would that even go? What about this? Ooh, that's a bit of a blue. Maybe that could be kind of fun. I wasn't expecting that. Wait, what even is that color? Was that one? Is that really blue? Ooh, maybe that could be fun. I think I'm gonna use a little bit of that. I'm gonna go in with some more of my glitter primer. Like, if this is cheating, I apologize, but I can't leave the look the way it is right now. I need something else, you know? It's just missing that extra something to make this really pop. So I'm gonna put a little bit of my glitter primer just in like my inner corner and just a little bit over that bronze shade, as well as down to my lower lash line. And then I'm gonna dip into this. Which one was it that I wanted to take? Was it this one? Yeah, that one. So this is the Reserve number 1. And I'm just gonna pack that right on top where I put down that, ooh, that's pretty, that glitter primer. Yeah, I really think that this is what the look needed. Just something extra in the inner corner to sort of make this come together here. I'm not sure if choosing a blue was the best choice, but I feel like it goes pretty nicely with this look though. Like, let me know, what would you guys have done in the inner corner here? I think this is where I'm going to leave it. I'm gonna finish off with the eyes, do some liner and mascara, and then I'll come back and we can do the rest of the face together and kind of try to like tie all of this together, because I feel like that's needed. I feel like once the face makeup is done, it's going to be easier to kind of see the look all together. So I'll be back when my eyes are done. Okay, so the eyes are done and my battery is currently flashing, so we're gonna go ahead and finish this up. For my bronzer today, I want to use the Natasha Denona Mini Bronze and Glow, and I'm only going to use a bronzer. I don't think I want to use a blush for today's look, so I'm just going to kind of use this as both, because I feel like the tone of this is quite similar to like that tone of the bronze that I have on my lid, and it's also kind of warm enough that it can be used also as a blush in a way. I don't know, I just don't feel like I really have a blush that's going to look nice with this look, so I'm just going to kind of use this as both and then do a bit of a heavy highlight instead. And maybe I'll do something kind of blue for my highlighter today. I don't know. What do you guys think? I wish I could ask you for your help, because this is really, really hard to like come up with a complete look. I still feel like I don't know what I'm gonna do for lips at all. So we're just gonna have to kind of see how this is going to look before I go in with anything on my lips here. Let's see, I'm gonna take my powder brush over just a little bit here to diffuse this. And then we're gonna go ahead and find a highlighter. I'm thinking I wanna use something blue for my highlighter. Maybe I'll use my blue Kaleidos one. I think that could be kind of fun. So this is the one from the original collection, and this one is called Skywalker. So we're gonna go ahead and use some of this. I think that's going to look kind of cool with this look, at least I hope so. So let's just try this for shits and giggles and kind of see what happens, if it's going to make the look come together or if it's going to look crazy. I feel like it looks pretty good with this look. I don't know, I also feel like I'm missing blush on my face, which, you know, I just don't really feel like there's a blush that could go with these colors though. I feel like it would just look weird. And I'm also going to take a little bit of this on my brow bone just so we can kind of really tie all of this together. Kind of really. Great grammar, Annette. Great grammar. Let's go ahead and put a little bit of that just right on the brow bone. I feel like this also just helps a little bit with the blend on that gray, because it's really hard to blend out a gray on its own. So I think this is it. For lips, I just want to do something kind of on the neutral side with like sort of the same tone that I have going on my lid. So I'm going to use a lip liner from Urban Decay. This is so old. It's in the shade 1993, and then I'm just gonna top it with the original Gloss Bomb from Fenty. I think those are going to look pretty nice with this look. So I think this is where I'm going to leave you guys. I guess this is the final look. I feel like I don't hate it. I don't think it's as bad as I originally thought it was going to be, but I'm so curious to see what Debbie and Lisa did. So go ahead and check out their channels, and of course check out my face-off playlist if you want to see more of these. Thank you for watching my video. As always, if you are new to my channel, I would love it if you would consider subscribing, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.